Thanks for being here. I'm Kim Christensen.
And I'm Phil Lipoff. The city of Lakewood wants to build more townhomes and duplexes in an attempt to increase affordable housing. Despite pushback, though, from some people who live there, the city appears to be moving forward. 9 News reporter Colton Chavez is joining us. And Colton, you're hearing arguments from both sides of the aisle on this.
Yeah, Kim. And on one side of the coin, the fear is that these properties are going to change completely the dynamic of these communities forever. Now, on the other side, the Metro Mayor's Caucus says projects like these will actually allow people who are in these communities to stay there.
I'm a 40-year resident. I've seen a lot of changes.
In Lakewood, there's a concern that all change is not growth.
People do not know what's coming for them with this legislative rezoning.
The city of Lakewood has proposed zoning changes that would encourage more duplexes and townhomes to be built in an effort to increase affordable housing. Regina Hopkins
We're going to urbanize Lakewood.
says the biggest impact will come to people who own single-family homes.
If you start adding in duplexes, triplexes, it will completely change the character of the whole neighborhood.
That's where the divide comes in, is where it's Section 8 housing that brings in really ugly architecture, that brings in crime.
Heidi Williams is the executive director for the Metro Mayor's Caucus. Williams says the changes will free up more single-family homes because of the options it creates for older aging adults.
They can move down into a condo or a duplex or something like that. That frees up that 4-bedroom single-family home.
The citizen group Lakewood is for Everyone started a petition that would give people the ability to vote on the zoning changes. Regina is working to make that happen.
Each section is going to need probably 4,000 signatures per section.
Williams believes Lakewood should pay attention to the needs of each community.
And making sure that when they are upzoning or bringing in a slightly higher density, that it still matches the character of the neighborhood.
Regina Williams wants any potential change to come with choice.
I don't think that the citizens should have to accept this without, at very minimum, it going to a vote of the people.
The city of Lakewood has been voting on pieces of this over the past several weeks and is not expected to finalize anything till about mid-October. The group Lakewood is for Everyone. They started gathering signatures this week, and we need to have all of those collected within 45 days of this rezoning if it is approved by City Council. Colton Chavez, 9 News.
And sometimes this is what allows people to find out about things like this. We just kind of live in our bubble and don't know this is happening, and they're talking about it.
Yeah, exactly. And, they kind of talked about that, it being something where there's a lot of misinformation. People throughout their lives think, well, if a certain group or if a certain type of building moves into the neighborhood, it's going to actually ruin the reputation of the neighborhood. And we're hearing from professionals that say, well, that's just not the case.
Okay, well, good listening session and discussion. Thanks, Colton. A 4-day conference wrapped up today with the Denver Architecture Foundation talking about reimagining Speer Boulevard, specifically the area near Lodo and the Auraria campus. Before and after images show what the vision is. The Denver Architecture Foundation used its Doors Open Denver Festival to pitch the plan. A panel of architects and an urban planner argued that the original vision for Speer no longer fits how Denverites live, work, and commute. This proposal includes more green space, housing, and retail along Speer while improving mobility through downtown. They add downtown is much more than just buildings.
Therefore, we're really driven to put forward programs, convene conversations, organize guided tours to assist Denverites in sparking their imagination about how great our city really can be.
The project is still in its early stages, but could take 5 to 10 years to fully develop.
The changing fall colors once again bringing large crowds to I-70 up in the high country, just as the peak weekend for taking in the colors is coming to an end. This is a live look at I-70 near Georgetown. Not terrible traffic. I'm sure you've sat in worse up in that area. CDOT expects heavy traffic on eastbound I-70 well into the evening. The agency is advising drivers to anticipate congestion along Highway 285, especially between South Park and Denver. It was a much different story yesterday, as you know, where the Clear County Sheriff's Office was forced to actually close down the exit into Georgetown because of so much congestion there. At one point, deputies were actually turning drivers away from the town.
Kathy, you hate to hear about that, but you know how gorgeous it is. And
Yeah.
I mean, it was the perfect weekend if you could get up there.
So
And those little towns love it. They love it
Yeah.
when we all go up there and visit. And so what an interesting problem to have. I think you've got some more time to see the leaves change. While many areas may be at peak, there's still going to be plenty of color. And we see that outside the studios and along the Front Range this afternoon. We're tracking an area of low pressure over Arizona that's pushing moisture northward into areas like Buena Vista. Look how pretty this is. Oh my goodness. And you can see the changing colors in the Buena Vista area. This is a live look with our Viaro web camera there. And so you've got time. There is the opportunity. We're tracking some showers around the area tonight, and this will be a case we'll be following again tomorrow. We've got mid 70s in Denver, some 80s on the plains. The wind hasn't been a big feature, but just in the last hour, picking up at Monument Hill, Broomfield, and Boulder, 20 to 30 miles per hour. A lot of water coming up from the southwest, and we are tracking some scattered mountain showers, a little bit of thunder and lightning. Storms are moving from the south to the north, and it is possible that that activity will continue tonight. Of course, of greater importance is probably tomorrow night. Broncos take the field at 6:15. Will this moisture move over the urban corridor as the game kicks off? We're going to talk about that forecast in detail with your extended outlook that includes temperatures in the 80s for the start of October. All that is just ahead.
wow. All right, Kathy. In developing news out of Michigan right now, at least 2 people are dead. 8 others are in the hospital after a mass shooting inside a Mormon church. It happened at the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints in Grand Blanc, Michigan. It's a suburb of Flint, about an hour north of Detroit. Police say the gunman, identified as a Marine veteran, a U.S. Marine veteran, rammed his car through the front door of a church during a large service. He then began shooting with an assault rifle and intentionally set that church on fire. Look at these pictures. It was a massive fire at one point. Police say responding officers exchanged gunfire, wound up killing the gunman. The horrifying incident, as you would imagine, has left this small community shaken.
It's insane to me. I can't actually believe that this would happen in my city. Like, nothing like this has ever even come close to happening here.
The fire was eventually put out, and investigators said this afternoon they did expect to find more victims.
In North Carolina, a lone gunman killed 3 people and hurt 5 others at a waterfront bar. Police are investigating that attack as targeted. 40-year-old Nigel Edge is in custody, charged with several counts of murder and assault. Police say the shots came from a boat in the waterway outside the bar about 9:30 last night. The suspect then allegedly took off in another boat and headed towards a neighboring community. U.S. Coast Guard crew detained him, turned him over to local police. Officials say the suspect is known to law enforcement and identifies as a combat vet who was injured in the line of duty.
We believe that this was a targeted location. We appear that he acted in what we call a lone wolf. He acted alone. This is highly premeditated from what we're seeing at this time.
More charges are pending. The suspect is due back in court tomorrow. Officials say some of the victims were people that were there on vacation.
Back here in Colorado, we are now learning of a 3rd out-of-state hunter who has died in Conejos County just in the last 2 weeks alone. According to the sheriff's office there, deputies received a call on Friday for help in a remote area of the South San Juan wilderness. When rescue crews arrived, they found that hunter dead. The sheriff's office says the victim was a 54-year-old man from Tennessee. Hazardous conditions delayed the recovery of the body until the next day. The victim died not too far from where 2 other out-of-state hunters were found dead 10 days ago after being killed by lightning.
The last man charged in the death of a well-known community activist is expected to be sentenced tomorrow morning. Swabe is one of 4 people prosecuted that were involved in the murder of Ma Kang near Freedom Park. She was unloading groceries when a stray bullet hit and killed her. Bay pleaded guilty in July of 2024 to 1 count of second-degree murder. The 3 other men involved have already been sentenced.